And this is how your life began. In this region of the world, in the coastal waters of one of the tropical or coral islands, you begin your life as an egg that quickly hatches into one of the zooplankton that floats in the water and is tossed here and there by water currents. It's hard to believe that this tiny creature, measuring only 1 to 3 millimeters, would become this giant armored monster that is considered the largest terrestrial arthropod living today. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. You feed on plankton and microorganisms, and you yourself are food for many marine creatures, such as small fish, some types of whales, and even crabs and other crustaceans. You molt about 5 to 6 times within 30 days, and your size increases slightly each time, after which you enter the glaucotho stage. You are starting to resemble what you will be, but you are smaller, transparent, and fragile, and after several more molts, you become a juvenile. You look like adults now, but you are smaller in size. And like your closest relatives, the hermit crabs, you swim down to find yourself an empty gastropod shell to enter to become your home and a means of protection from predators. After a short while, you move to the beach, but you must be careful as there are many predators there. Oof, that was close. But seabirds are not the only predators. There are rats, larger crabs, and other animals that will be very happy to tear you apart. You continue in this state, moving between the shore and the sea to search for food. Over time, you molt and increase in size. You search for a new shell that suits you, so you enter it and leave the old one. A crab without a shell is a dead crab because you have a hard exoskeleton that only covers your head and thorax, while your abdomen is soft and vulnerable and needs a shell to protect it from predator attacks. But protecting your butt isn't the only reason you need a shell. You keep a little amount of water inside it so that your body and gills are moisturized and they work efficiently, and you don't die from dehydration. Over time, you began to become a permanent terrestrial being, to the point that you gradually began to lose your ability to breathe underwater, and your gills began to atrophy, and you began to breathe air with an organ called the branchiostegal lungs, which are located on the lower side of your body, but you must keep it moist for it to work efficiently. As your size increases over the course of 1 to 2 years, there is no shell large enough for you to enter, so you sometimes begin to use coconuts as a shell, but it is a temporary solution, and sooner or later you will abandon the idea of shells completely. Your body began to become noticeably larger and your exoskeleton became tougher, and it even began to deposit chitin and calcium carbonate on top of your abdomen, forming a very tough layer of leather. You also hide your abdomen under your body like other crabs, even though you are not a real crab. To be a true crab, you must belong to the infraorder Brachyura, but you, like your hermit crab relatives, belong to the infraorder Anomura, also known as untrue crabs. I don't know if this matters to you, but let's move on. You are considered a nocturnal animal, coming out at night to search for food to avoid heat and predators, and using your very strong sense of smell to do so. Although you have compound eyes, their ability is limited. Your vision is blurry and is a mosaic of thousands of pixelated images, and most of your brain cells are directed to the sense of smell. You have an olfactory system consisting of antennae that connect to thousands of chemical receptors that help you determine the type and direction of food. Speaking of food, you are considered an omnivore, which means that you eat anything you can get, whether animal or plant, fruits, seeds, leaves, and even hard coconuts. You have 2 huge claws with a crushing force equivalent to 1,700 newtons, which may reach 3,300 newtons in large crabs. To get an idea of how powerful this force is, it is enough to easily cut off a human finger, and it outweighs the bites of many terrestrial predators. And for some reason, the left claw is always larger than the right claw. These 2 powerful claws enable you to crush coconuts and eat their pulp. You can even climb a coconut tree and drop the fruits yourself. And thanks to the toughness of your exoskeleton, you can descend from a tree that is 5 to 6 meters high by jumping down without getting hurt. As for taller trees, you will have to descend from the tree gradually in the same way you ascended. But these are not the only benefits of these claws. You use them to dig a burrow for you, as well as to defend it against intruders, and to protect your food against exploiters who want an easy meal. You also use them to steal some human items, such as spoons, forks, knives, etc. And this is why you are also called the robber crab. The most likely explanation for this behavior is that you steal these things because of the smell of food that wafts from them. So you think they are food. You are also scavenger who eat carrion and dead plants. Not only that, but you are considered one of the most famous scavengers because your species was accused of eating the body of the famous aviator Amelia Earhart when her plane crashed near a group of tropical islands, and thus her body was never found. I've never seen her before, but this theory does not have enough evidence to support it, so let's move on. You are also considered cannibal and have no objection to eating crabs that are smaller than you, whether of the same species or of another species. Although you are not a skilled hunter, you are very exploitative. It has been noted that you can climb trees in search of bird nests in order to eat the chicks, or even the parents. Or you may catch mice and other small animal that approach your burrow. During the day, you stay in your burrow that you dig in the ground to avoid the heat and harsh tropical climate, and you close the entrance with one of your claws to retain moisture inside. As you grow older, you molt periodically every year and your size increases, but at this stage, you are weak and vulnerable. So you perform this process near the burrow and eat the old exoskeleton to compensate for the lack of nutrients, and you remain inside the burrow until your new exoskeleton hardens within days. Sometimes an exploitative competitor appears to you who wants to steal your burrow or food, so you enter into a claw fight with him and defeat him. Oh, unfortunately, you lost one of your limbs in the battle, but this doesn't matter, as you can regenerate this limb within several months. After about 5 to 6 years have passed, you have now become an adult crab. Your size is large, and your colors range between blue, purple, red, orange, and brown. You will continue to molt and grow throughout your life, and your weight may reach 4 kilograms or more, and your length may reach a full meter from tip of leg to tip of leg. During the months between May and September, you are ready to transfer your genes and begin searching for a mate through the pheromones that you smell with your antennae. When you find a ready female, this is where the difficulty begins. Okay, kids, you can stop the video at this point. As for those who are not children, you can continue. You wrestle with it with your claws until you can flip it onto its back. I believe this is evidence of your strength and worth. Anyway, mating then takes place in the missionary position, face to face, belly to belly, or whatever you call it. Unlike your closest relative, the hermit crab, which have a long pair of antennae-like male reproductive organs called genopods, they enable the male and female to mate while they are still partially inside their shells so that the shell is not stolen during mating, which is a common occurrence. You have one of the shortest male reproductive organs relative to body length, so you ejaculate a jelly-like mass of spermatophores down the female's thorax. Not in her, but on her. I guess you don't have everything big in the end. After that, you will have played your role in the process and left. As for the female, she will keep the spermatophores, and within a few days she will produce a large number of eggs, about 50,000 to 200,000 eggs, and fertilize them externally by passing them through the mass of spermatophores and sticking them under her abdomen for a period ranging from 4 to 8 weeks. When the time for the eggs to hatch approaches, the female heads to the beach to release them into the water. This process is very dangerous for her because coconut crabs have lost the ability to breathe underwater and swim as well, and they may drown while releasing eggs. Therefore, it must cling well to the rock so as not to be swept away by the strong sea waves. Returning to you, you have increased greatly in size recently and have become at the top of the food chain on this island. You have no predators now, and you defeat and terrify your competitors simply. You can live the rest of your life, which may reach 80 years or more, in peace. You are invincible.
Huh?
Oh, well, sort of.